Dude, I'm so excited about the Joe Flacco thing.
You called it, man.
I called it, and it's not some crazy take, right?
Yeah.
You put 2 and 2 together the minute Joe Burrow gets hurt, and you look around the league and say, where are the shitty teams and where are the guys that are serviceable back there? As bad as he played in Cleveland this year, what have we learned over and over again? Context matters. Situations matter.
Yeah.
I know the offensive line might be worse in Cincinnati. I know that Joe Flacco's taken his life into his hands, and this is borderline elderly abuse. But the fucking NFL needs people watching Bengals games.
Yeah.
Fantasy owners need Jamar Chase to get touches. All right, my son needs Jamar Chase to get his touches. And most importantly, I like watching the Bengals. And when you look at that division where the Ravens are still favored to win it, why the fuck not? This is the first sign of life I have seen from the Cincinnati Bengals since Joe Burrow got hurt. Just try something, guys.
Bro.
I don't care if it doesn't work. But I want to watch the games and think that a team that paid their superstars and are playing in a division that is there for the taking at least tried.
Hey, Joe Flacco doesn't give you a little bit of hope that you could just drop the green light and just decide to go back for a few more years, jump out of retirement and hop around, be a journeyman.
No, bro, I'm not going back and tearing my Achilles the third play and getting cooked on Twitter, like people being like, that looked like the stiffest, dustiest rubber band snapping in that guy's sock. They'd have me in slow motion falling like an 86-year-old man. I actually thought about that the other day. If I went back to play, like, what if the first play I threw a long arm into some guy's chest and he was like, you're old, bro. He's just anchoring on my – that's how it would probably go. You know what I'm saying?
No, and honestly, that's my fear is just like seeing this Bengals offense and seeing what happened to Joe Burrow. It's just like, how can I be positive that – by you guys going to get Joe Flacco, who's less mobile than Joe Burrow, that he's going to be –
he's going to get killed. In the process.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, older guys, like, they get up off the ground. It takes them a longer time to get up off the ground. And I just wonder how much more of that Joe Flacco has in them. I think his journey is amazing. I think he definitely still has spark and magic. And just like you said, if anyone, Jamar Chase is going to be happy, at least for this week, for just the unknown of just thinking about, hey, exactly. Like, I got someone who
just give me a chance.
Yep.
Just give us a chance. You know what else Joe Flacco does? He checks the ball down.
Yeah.
So great. So we're gonna give some check downs to Chase Brown, and we'll see what happens, dude. I just want a reason. Without Joe Flacco on this team, I won't even have this team on a side TV. Now they're like on TV 2 or 3. At least this week, to see if there's something going on. Now, who do they play this week? I don't even know. They play the Packers. Fuck. Catching 14 and a half points on the road. Yeah.
Maybe they won't put them out there this week. No, they have to.
I don't know, man. Maybe they just concede this week and get out. So.
Oh, you know what? You want to know a different angle?
Sure.
A different angle that people probably like don't want to hear. Another reason why I'm happy about this trade.
Yeah.
One step closer to Shador.
Oh yeah, it is.
It is. Like,
it is.
Because
and I cannot, one way or another, we're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out.
Because all the conjecture can stop.
What new quarterback comes in? If that new quarterback comes in and they're just like, he's number 2, like, everyone's gonna know that something's up in Cleveland, right?
At that point, I would think they were just trolling people.
Okay, but that's what I'm excited about is just the next week with that, the depth chart, if it moves, if they even be funny with it, because that's the next thing for them now. It's just like, oh, he's out the picture.
They're the only team that drafted the guy and they can't do anything right. You hear what I'm saying?
No, yes.
They can't do right in anybody's eyes. They're the only team that drafted him.
And the audacity of these two teams making a trade. The two worst teams deciding to make a trade right now with two of the questionable front
Cleveland's like
offices.
misery. Cleveland picks up the phone. They're like, misery loves company, right? Since he's like, we're not like you.
And you know what's crazy too? How long is that
Give
drive?
me Joe Flacco.
They sent the Uber for Joe Flacco, bro. How long is that drive?
That's not very long. That's not very long.
That's crazy, bro. But hey, I'm not gonna lie. I've been saying it this whole year over and over. NFL is the best reality TV, and just all the different angles and subplots. And I love this for Joe Flacco. And honestly, at the very least, we got to get at least one 50-yard plus ball to Jamar Chase to at least keep everyone excited in the NFL.
This is the third in-division trade involving a quarterback this century. Eagles trading Donovan McNabb to Washington, and the Patriots trading Drew Bledsoe to the Bills. And also, if you want to talk about Joe Flacco's longevity, Bengals Ring of Honor member Willie Anderson, drafted by Cincinnati in 1996, blocked for Joe Flacco.
Willie Anderson, legend. You know, here's the other thing I love about this year, and this is why I think teams are going to make a lot of trades. Adam Schefter said, hey, we're going to have a fuck ton of trades. That's what he said today. Anybody can win this thing, it feels like. I think this is the week, and it's no coincidence that the two undefeated teams lost, but it feels like everybody's like, hey, my team could win this thing. I keep getting asked questions. Like I was on Rich Eisen today, and Rich loves so Chris, are the are the Jaguars contenders, that kind of thing? And I'm like, my usual litmus test for the bar to clear to become a contender is a lot more north of like what I'm looking at with a couple teams, but you might as well make them contenders, because it seems to me like usually there's like an elite class of teams that's only a couple teams. And then there's like the class just below them, like the 1Bs. It feels like there's a bunch of 1Bs this year, a bunch of 1Bs, and teams that I usually couldn't see making a run could make a real run. So one of those teams, the Chargers, made a move today as well. They go get Oweh from the Ravens, who obviously they weren't going to pay him, and he's been productive. He can rush the passer. And he's been one of the relative bright spots on that defense this year. It is a little bit declarative of where they are in Baltimore. You have no pass rush. You send off one of your very few pass rushers. What you do get back is Alohi Gilman, which probably means they're just going to reshuffle their secondary. And they, for the Chargers, they feel like, hey, our safety depth is better than our edge depth. That's one way to think about it, because they have dipped into their edge depth bag and they don't like what they have to, what they see. They need some pass rush. They have young players that they can push along in the secondary, and rushing coverage works together. But as you can see, without the rush, the coverage doesn't look as good. So for me, the move makes a lot of sense. It also doesn't put so much pressure on Thule to be primarily an edge rusher. You can move him inside. You can move him around. I think you add him to a group like this guy Tart is a fucking player. I can't remember if I shouted him out, but he was one of the lone bright spots the other day. They have some pieces up front. They just need their edge rushers. And when they get Mac back, whenever that is, now you're cooking a little bit. Make that late in the year push. But for the Ravens, it probably means moving Kyle Hamilton inside. And so it's kind of the inverse of what happened last year, where last year they wanted Kyle Hamilton to play more safety. But this is what they hope is the one big move that changes everything defensively, or just realistically, they know where they're going and they're selling pieces.
And then they also picked up CJ Gardner, put him on the practice squad. So
yeah.
Might not see him for maybe a week or so if they like what they see. But that's going to be interesting to see if he can. He's a guy that, I feel like the old Ravens defense, how they used to be in their attitude, he's maybe a guy that can fit in perfect there, maybe help change the culture back to what it was, that gritty, scared of Baltimore defense. But right now, it's just, even with all these moves, they got to put a product out on the field. They got to put something on tape where you can respect it.
Dude, you know what's going to be so funny is C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Jair Alexander interacting, because Jair Alexander is one of the funniest people in the NFL. I don't know if we talked about this yesterday, but him grabbing the ball from the Texans rookie Noel after he caught that touchdown into the Ray Lewis dance, and Jair Alexander, notably from Charlotte, was offended by it. And he's been there like a month, but he's like all about the Ravens way of life and went to get that football. And after the game, his soundbite was hilarious. So I would love to see what that relationship turns into. C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Jair Alexander, two of the funniest people in the NFL, in my opinion.